fitness and nutrition on a cellular level. There are 37 trillion cells in the human body that we are responsible for. How are you living your life? What's your environment like?
Hey guys, Mary here over at True Fitness, and I have been studying and I have been researching and I have been surrounding myself with some amazing people who have specialties, who have decided to take their bubble of knowledge in the medicine world and broaden it and start getting into the holistic way, to the functional medicine way, and they've decided to study nutrition more hardcore, what they're doing in eastern parts of the world, medicine, and just over in Europe. You know, I have not traveled the world extensively, but many close to me have, and I hear that they are starting to get Americanized, and I'm like, oh God, please don't, please don't, please don't, because they still have it. They still understand what it takes to live to 105 and have quality of life and to actually be happy that they're 105. They're happy that they're 90. They're not sitting in a wheelchair. They're not sitting in an assisted living area. They're still with the family and they're still participating in life because they are eating what the earth provides. They are not indulging and overindulging, and they haven't created these bad habits, and they've decided not to stay sedentary. A little bit stressed out that parts of Europe who have been doing it right are starting to get in form bad habits that us in the US have, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I am 50. I will soon be 51, and I have always made a decision. Well, I should say I've always had a conversation with myself, even through the highs and low points of my life, even through the times that I made choices that were not healthy. I still looked at quality of life. I was like, oh, I want to be that person who lives to 105. I want to still be walking on my hands. That's who I am, right? That's who I grew up as. That's what defined me. I was athletic. I was gymnast Mary. I had quads. I had biceps. You know, that's who I was. And I finally decided to embrace it completely in this last decade when I decided to learn more about the human body internally, right? I think that we're all too often caught up in the anatomy when it comes to the external, right? How do my shoulders look? How do my biceps look? You know, we're so aesthetically driven, and I have to say that I too had been that for a really long time, and there were many times that I did it in a very unhealthy way. But we all live and we learn. I don't go back, and I don't, you know, I'm not ashamed of what I did. I don't regret the things that I've done. I've just looked back at my path and my history and go, you know what? As long as I can learn from it, as long as I can not use it as an excuse, I'm not trying to hide from it, I've learned, and all my experiences have gotten me to where I am today. So I crave education, you guys, and I crave, like this wonderful man back here, Sean Stevenson, who not too long ago I started watching his podcast. His show is called The Model Health Show. You might want to check it out. Him, along with Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, Eric Thomas, Brandon Bouchard, Tony Robbins, like that is all I listen to when I am in here and when I go home, because they have put so much powerful conversation in my head about self-development, about just how to go about becoming the best version of you. And as Les Brown always says, there's greatness within you, but you have to decide to unearth that. You have to decide to step out of that comfort zone that we're all in, right? And you look at this amazing body, because I always say this, if you had to study the human body in all 11 systems and everything from a cellular level, there's 37 trillion cells in the body, and by this point, 50s and 60s, we've killed off quite a few that we will never get back. And that's what I want to talk about right now. We will not get back many of those cells, but we have the opportunity right now for the cells that are floating and that are stagnant and that might be on their way to death. That mitochondria, that cell, that energy part of the cell is just laying there and it's just floating through your body and your body is just sluggish, you have the ability to change that, and not by taking a drug and not by going in for surgery, okay? Read about the human body. These systems and all of your organs were meant to do things and thrive. And so 90% of the time that we are not feeling good is because of something that we're doing to our body through food, through liquid, through medications. I look around at my peers. I look around at a lot of people who are even younger than me, okay, that are on so many medications right now that is confusing those cells, that are upsetting those cells. And we have this idea, because this is how we were raised, generation after generation, that we get a certain age, and because our ancestors had this, that, and whatever, we have these blueprints that we're just going to get it. If you were to look across the board at the health issues that they had, that the cancers that they ultimately passed away from, or illnesses, I could go, okay, well, there's breast cancer, there's ovarian cancer, there's pancreatic cancer, there's this, that, and whatever. And then I could stay in this bubble and go, well, I'm gonna get it at some point, so let me just live life. And that's the phrase that I can't stand when I hear people go, well, I just wanna live. Okay, well, you're not going to live by drinking excessively, by eating like shit excessively, by not honoring your body and moving it consistently. Like, don't tell me, well, I just want to live, I just want to have fun, Mary. I want to do life. Okay, you can do what you're doing in your environment, stay around the same unhealthy people, but I'm telling you that your life will be shorter, but your quality of life is not going to be well. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I have had my times through my life where I treated my body with disrespect and I fed it toxic things. Okay? I also decided as I was getting older that I was still going to have standards. Just because we're a certain age doesn't mean we should fall into that trap of not taking care of ourselves. I see so many women who start getting to a point where they're like, well, you know, I'm 50, I'm 55, so I'm gonna let the gray shine. I'm not gonna put any makeup on my face. Who cares what I'm wearing? So we're putting frumpy clothes on that don't fit us, that don't accentuate our shape. Oh, well, I don't have a good shape. Well, then go do something about it. Well, I can't because I'm too old. Too old for what? Too old to move? No, you're not. No, you're not. You should still be lifting weights. You still should be moving. You still should be rotating up and down and doing life. Oh my gosh. So I'm here to say that all my midlifers, get out of that bubble. The bubble of, now I'm a midlifer, now I'm old, I shouldn't be doing anything, but I'm smarter. I'm training smarter. I'm not training like I was in my 20s. I'm not training like I was in my 30s, because for every decade that I have aged, I have also become smarter. It didn't mean that I pulled back and I stopped doing, because when we do that, then that's when the body starts to fail, because the body was designed to move, the body was designed to work together as a whole. But you better take a good hardcore look at what you're feeding it, because something in there is setting off inflammation. And it's very, very easy. It really is. Go back, how about do a 24-hour, 36 hours of fasting. Let the body heal itself, for the love of God. It has to. You should be healing it. You should be fasting, okay? Cleanse it. Drink water, get more greens in there. Flush it out with anti-inflammatory products that are safe, that are effective, that are whole, and then start hanging around healthier people. Because I know for a fact that if you want to kick the alcohol habit, and if you want to kick some of the fast food issues and things like that, and you know that it's destroying your body, but you keep hanging around the people who aren't ready to make those changes for a quality of life, you're going to have to be the one. You're going to have to get the balls to stand up and step away and go regroup with some healthier, fun-loving, happy people. You have to. If you don't, then you can't sit there and complain to the rest of the world about what's going on because you decided to still sit in that toxic world.